the latest military news update. This is AFP Community News, hosted by Rofh Suzon every 12 noon, Mondays to Fridays. Only here on DWDD Armed Forces Radio. One AFP for a stronger Philippines.
159 candidate soldiers earned Marine emblem after completing rigorous training. 97 IB enlists tourism stakeholders to help counter MPA recruitment tactics. MMDA suspends number coding on June 6 for DWDD holiday. COMELEC rejects extension for SOSE filing deadline on June 11.
Hello to everyone, especially to our troops at Camp Emilio Ginaldo in Quezon City. Today is Wednesday, June 4, and this is AFP Committee News, your source for the updates on the armed forces and other developments across the country. I am Rofh Suzon-Abay, here to bring you today's story.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
For the brief overview of our news, a total of 159 candidate soldiers from Marine Basic Classes 510, 511, and 512 officially earned their place in the Philippine Marine Corps during a pinning of emblem ceremony held at the Basic School in Ternate, Cavite. After 6 months of rigorous training, the newly minted Marines faced their final test through the call to arms, a symbolic 11-obstacle challenge that represents the valor and sacrifice of the Corps 11 Medal of Valor awardees. The completion of the Marine Basic Course marks not only the soldiers' physical and mental transformation, but also their full initiation into the ranks of one of the country's elite military forces, known for resilience, honor, and courage.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
The 97 Infantry Battalion partnered with community security frontliners and tourism stakeholders to fight the deceptive recruitment tactics of the New People's Army in Siocon, Zamboanga del Norte. Troops distributed leaflets exposing the CPP and AMDF's recruitment strategies during a 3-day seminar. The Barangay Tanod para sa Turismo training gathered Barangay Tanod, tourism officers, and resort owners from Siocon, Sirawai, Sibuco, and Baliguyan to boost local security and awareness. 97 IB Commander Lieutenant Colonel Jimmy Sanz emphasized the barangay's Tanod vital role in sustaining peace under the community-based tourist and investors protection and security program.
Armed Forces Radio.
On the other line, let us hear more from Kath about Philippine Air Force named overall second runner-up in Uniformed Services Dependent Sports League.
Yes, Rofh, good noon. The Philippine Air Force proudly claimed the overall second runner-up title during the closing ceremony of the Philippine Uniformed Services Dependent Sports League held at the Lapu-Lapu Grandstand in Camp General Emilio Aguinaldo, Quezon City. The PAF badminton and swimming teams dominated their events, both emerging as overall champions. The contingent also secured the first runner-up finishes in the 4x10 relay, basketball, and esports competitions. More podium finishes followed with second runner-up awards in arnis, karate-do, and volleyball, and a third runner-up recognition in the modern dance competition. These accomplishments showcase the Philippine Air Force dedication to holistic development, reinforcing unity and uniformed service, families, and promoting the values of sportsmanship, teamwork, and integrity among the youth. This is Kat reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Kath.
DWDD National News.
For our national news, the Metropolitan Manila Development Authority announced the suspension of the expanded number coding scheme on Friday, June 6, in observance of DWDD. President Fray Marcos Jr. declared the day a regular holiday through Proclamation number 911, following the recommendation of the National Commission on Muslim Filipinos. DWDD, or the Feast of Sacrifice, is a major Islamic holiday commemorating the obedience of Prophet Abraham. MMDA urged the motorists to plan trips ahead, obey traffic rules, and drive safely during the holiday.
DWDD National News.
The Commission on Elections confirmed it will not extend the June 11 deadline for candidates to file their statements of contributions and expenditures for the May 12 midterm elections. COMELEC Chairperson George Erwin Garcia stressed that the deadline was set early and would be strictly enforced. Candidates must submit hard and electronic copies of their sources in person at the COMELEC office in Intramuros, Manila. Failure to file may result in disqualification from assuming office and possible administrative charges.
Armed Forces Radio.
From a report on the ground, let us hear the report of Gina about 1st Division Training School officially welcomed its new commandant.
Yes, Rofh, the 1st Division Training School officially welcomed its new commandant, Colonel Nolasco B. Coderos Jr., during a change of command ceremony held at the 1st DTS grounds. Colonel Coderos succeeded Colonel Danilo G. Ambe, who is set to assume his new post as the commander of the Joint Task Force Zamboanga. Prior to this assignment, Colonel Coderos served as the executive officer of the 102nd Infantry Brigade. In his assumption speech, Colonel Coderos conveyed his appreciation for the opportunity to lead and reaffirmed his dedication to the school's mission. The ceremony concluded with the symbolic passing of the unit flag, representing the formal transfer of command and responsibility. This is Gina reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Gina.
DWDD National News.
Starting July, the passengers can use debit cards, credit cards, and e-wallets to pay for fares at LRT and MRT stations. Department of Transportation Secretary Vince Dizon said cashless turnstiles under the automatic fare collection system will be deployed, allowing commuters to tap their phones or cards directly at the gates, eliminating the need for beep cards. The move follows President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s directive to implement an open-loop payment system integrated with various financial platforms to improve commuter convenience and reduce queues.
DWDD National News.
Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin announced the third wave of the cabinet reshuffle, with President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. retaining 21 cabinet officials. The President declined the resignations of Agriculture Secretary Francisco Chu Laurel Jr., Agrarian Reform Secretary Conrado Ceril III, Education Secretary Sonny Angara, Labor Secretary Bienvenido Laguesma, Social Welfare Secretary Rex Gatchalian, Health Secretary Ted Herbosa, and Migrant Workers Secretary Hans Leo Capdac. Also keeping their posts are Science and Technology Secretary Renato Solido, Tourism Secretary Cristina Frasco, Information and Communications Technology Secretary Henry Aguda, Transportation Secretary Vince Dizon, and Public Works Secretary Manny Bonoan, and other government officials. Bersamin said they are expected to give fresh attention to the mandates and to show more performance in their respective areas.
Armed Forces Radio.
Now some information from Shaba. 1103rd Infantry Brigade conducts West Philippine Sea Awareness at Sulu State College.
Yes, Rofh. The 1103rd Infantry Brigade, in collaboration with the 1st Civil Military Operations Company and the 15th CMO Battalion, successfully conducted West Philippine Sea Awareness at Sulu State College. The activity included a series of lectures, open forums, and interactive discussions that provided factual, historical, and legal perspectives on the Philippines' maritime entitlements under international law, particularly the UN clause and the 2016 Arbitral Tribunal tribunal ruling. West Philippine Sea Awareness is an educational and values-based information campaign designed to raise awareness among the youth, particularly Reserve Officers Training Corps or ROTC students. The campaign is part of the Armed Forces of the Philippines' broader civil-military operations strategy to build stronger ties with the communities. This is Shaina Raneta reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Shaina.
DWDD National News.
Former Senator Sonny Angara has officially retained his position as Secretary of the Department of Education. In a statement, Angara expressed his deep gratitude for the renewed trust and confidence placed in him by the President. He also reaffirmed his commitment in enhancing the quality of education across the Philippines. Angara is expected to lead significant reforms targeting the learning poverty, the modernization of public school facilities, teacher support programs, and the enhancement of digital literacy for students.
DWDD National News.
The Department of Health Secretary Chodoro Herbosa said the 500% increase in human immunodeficiency virus or HIV infections among Filipinos aged 15 to 25 was a serious cause for alarm. DOH data show that 57 new infections were being logged daily, making the Philippines the country with the highest number of new HIV infections in the Western Pacific region. Herbosa said that if the government does not stop the spread now, they are projected to reach over 400,000 people living with HIV. The DOH chief also emphasized that this is not just a health issue, but a societal issue that requires the whole of government and whole of society response.
Armed Forces Radio.
From NOLCOM, let us hear some information from Joanna about PMA plans major expansion to meet future security needs.
As the Philippine Military Academy looks forward on a strategic plan for expansion, a two-day workshop about the PMA growth plan was conducted at the Plaza Hotel Baguio City on May 28 to 29, 2025. The Academy, through the Office of the Assistant Chief of Academy Staff for Plans and Programs, is currently crafting a manual that would serve as a guide and reference in planning the desired expansion that caters to the needs of the Cadet Corps Armed Forces of the Philippines or CCAFP. The workshop was participated by key personnel from various offices of PMA to collaboratively refine the draft outline and core contents of the manual. Furthermore, to ensure a holistic approach in this strategic expansion, the plan focuses attaining improving its pillars of education and training, encapsulated with the acronym of CREAM: competent faculty, responsive curriculum, effective facilities, advanced references, and motivated students. The decision of a higher leadership to expand the CCAFP to 2,000 is driven by a confluence of strategic factors. These include the evolving complexities of the national security landscape and current threats to territorial integrity, which call for the increasing demand for well-trained and principled officers within the AFP. This expansion aims to bolster the AFP with future-ready officers, ensuring a robust and capable leadership pipeline for modern warfare. This is John Sagak reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Joanne from NOLCOM.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
And for our announcement, celebrate the freedom through the power of music. Everyone is invited to Musicalayaan 2025 happening at Rizal Park, Luneta, Manila tomorrow, Thursday, June 5. Enjoy a night of inspiring performances by top Filipino artists, cultural groups, and musicians in a grand musical tribute to the nation's independence. Admission is absolutely free. Free admission for everyone. Bring your friends, your family, and your love for country and music. See you and don't miss it.
DWDD National News.
For other national news, the Mindanao Railway System project is not yet dead, according to Transportation Secretary Vince Dizon III. He explained that the project was supposed to be funded by China, but they withdrew, and then assured that the Philippine government is actively looking for other foreign donors to fund it. The DOTR chief emphasized that the government is talking with different trilateral partners wealthy countries, and multilateral partners like the ASEAN Development Bank.
DWDD National News.
Newly appointed Philippine National Police Chief General Nicolas Torre III has dared the police commanders and officials to work hard in ensuring public safety. He said they should give their best because they will be replaced if they can't do the mission. The PNP chief then advised the regional and provincial directors to settle the concerns within their areas of jurisdiction. He then emphasized that the purpose of mid-level and senior officers in the field is to make sure that they solve the problems within their area of responsibilities instead of centralizing the problems in Camp Crame.
Armed Forces Radio.
Updates from BEA, Davao del Norte Naval ROTC cadets demonstrate excellence in annual tactical inspection.
The Naval Reserve Officers Training Corps unit of Davao del Norte State College showcased outstanding discipline, precision, and leadership during the annual General Tactical Inspection held at the DNSC Sports Complex. Cadets were evaluated on a wide range of competencies including semaphore signaling, flashing light communication, knot tying, land navigation, spilled stripping, and more. The NSC ROTC Commandant Lieutenant Commander Nick Francis C. Dulfo commended the cadets for their dedication and credited the continued support from the college leadership for their success. The NSC's ROTC units concluded the inspection with a final score of 90.68%. This Betri is reporting for AFP Committee News, 1 AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Bea.
DWDD National News.
President Ferry Marcos Jr. approved the revised Coconut Farmers and Industry Development Plan aimed at boosting the competitiveness of coconut farmers. The President signed the Memorandum Circular 84, which approved and adopted the Coconut Farmers and Industry Development Plan 2024 to 2028. Under the memorandum, the Philippine Coconut Authority, as the lead agency responsible for the promotion and development of the coconut industry, shall lead the implementation of the CFIDP. All departments, agencies, bureaus, and offices of the national government and government financial institutions were directed to support the implementation of the CFIDP 2024 to 2028, as well as programs, activities, and projects. All local government units were also encouraged to do the same.
DWDD National News.
Newly appointed Department of Human Settlements and Urban Development Secretary Jose Ramon Aliling has ordered a thorough review of government housing programs to ensure that the country's poorest families are given priority access. Aliling directed the National Housing Authority and Social Housing Finance Corporation to realign their roles under the expanded Pambansang Pabahay para sa Pilipino program. He emphasized that the expanded 4PH should be pro-poor, stressing the importance of helping Filipinos without secure shelter. The NHA was instructed to strengthen housing assistance for families living in danger zones and those displaced by government infrastructure projects, including those affected by the Manila Bay cleanup mandated by the Supreme Court.
Armed Forces Radio.
Let us hear more updates from Glenn about Air Combat Command celebrates 5 years of excellence in air operations.
Yes, Rofh, the Air Combat Command celebrated its 5th founding anniversary at the Marchand Garden Hotel, Zamboanga City. The celebration held under the theme ACC at 5, a focused air combat command capable of modern warfare, precision strikes, and special operations. Was graced by the Commanding General, Philippine Air Force, Lieutenant General Arturo M. Cordora, who served as the guest of honor and speaker. The ceremony highlighted the command's major achievements, honoring exemplary units, personnel, and civilian partners whose outstanding contribution had driven the ACC toward greater operational excellence and mission success. In his keynote address, Lieutenant General Cordora urged the Sky Warriors and Trojans to remain precise in strike, agile in operation, and steadfast in mission focus as they continue to shape the future of air combat operations. This is Glenn Ligochan reporting for AFP Community News, One AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Glenn.
DWDD National News.
On the other hand, former Negros Oriental Congressman Arnolfo Teves Jr. will remain detained at the National Bureau of Investigation facility in Manila, while the court has yet to schedule his arraignment. Department of Justice Assistant Secretary and spokesperson Miko Clavano said a legal document certifying that Teves is now under government custody was submitted to the court last May 30. However, he stressed that no trial can commence until the court issues a formal order for arraignment.
DWDD National News.
The Malabon City government has conducted sandbagging operations along the critical waterways near the navigational gate of the Navotas-Malabon River, which broke down anew. Mayor Jenny Sandoval said the city engineering department has deployed 505 sandbags to reinforce riverbanks and reduce flooding in affected areas. Sandoval said the proactive measure addresses the ongoing repair of the navigational gate, which has temporarily impaired flood control systems in parts of Malabon and Navotas. The sandbagging aims to safeguard low-lying and flood-prone communities from potential overflow during high tides and intense rainfall.
Armed Forces Radio.
Let us hear from Meljoy of 1st CRG about Comandag 0925 exercise introduces urban operations training.
Yes, Rofh, the Philippine Marine Corps, United States Marine Corps Recon Team, Republic of Korea Marine Corps, Philippine Coast Guard, and Philippine National Police Special Action Force participated in a joint close quarter battle training exercise in Ilocos Norte as part of Exercise Comandag 09-2025. The rigorous close quarter battle drill focused on close-range engagements in confined urban environments. The exercise was led by Force Reconnaissance Group of the Philippine Marine Corps, who shared valuable lessons and battlefield-tested tactics drawn from their direct involvement in the 2017 Marawi Siege, a major urban conflict that significantly shaped current military doctrine on urban warfare. Each team demonstrated its tactics, techniques, and procedures, fostering knowledge sharing and collaboration. Observers from France, Thailand, and the Japan Ground Self-Defense Force witnessed the exercise. This joint training enhanced interoperability and operational readiness, is strengthening defense partnerships and mutual trust among participating forces. This is Meldry Nesho Aroko reporting for AFP Community News, One AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Meljoy of 1st CRG.
DWDD National News.
The Public Attorney's Office can now be reached through the eGov.ph mobile application. PAO could answer queries, set appointments, and provide legal remedy quickly, depending on the nature of the concerns raised. PAO Chief Presida Rueda Acosta said with the eGov.ph app, more Filipinos could now avail of PAO's free legal services, counseling, and other related assistance in consonance with its constitutional mandate. Rueda Acosta added that accessibility has always been the priority of the PAO, even before the introduction of the mobile app.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
And that concludes today's broadcast. And thank you for tuning in, especially to our audience on AFP Radio DWDD's Facebook page. In line with the celebration of the Musical Ayan 2025 at Luneta tomorrow and in observance of Idil Adha on Friday, June 6, there will be no regular radio programs on both days. Regular programming will resume on Monday, June 9. Thank you for your understanding, and we encourage everyone to take part in the Musical Ayan festivities and the solemn observance of Idil Adha. Again, this is Rofh Suzon-Abay for AFP Community News, One AFP for a Stronger Philippines.
Behold the latest military news update. This is AFP Community News, hosted by Rofh Suzon every 12 noon, Mondays to Fridays. Only here on DWDD Armed Forces Radio. One AFP for a Stronger Philippines.
Ito ang DWDD 1134 kHz AM. Balita, impormasyon at musika Ito ang DWDD AFP Radio, Boses ng Kawal Pilipino.
Kayo ay nakatutok sa DWDD AFP Radio. Kami po ay kasapi ng KBP, Kapisanan ng mga Broadcaster ng Pilipinas.